7 o'clock, so we'll call this meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
McKenzie,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes. Here.
Mossberg, Parker,
Here.
Turner.
Here. And we have a quorum. Go on to the next item, approval of minutes of regular meeting held September 9th, 2019.
Make a motion to approve that. The approved that.
Second.
Call the roll?
McKenzie,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Move on to the next item, reports from staff, city council report.
I don't have much today. We will meet for city council next Monday night. The projects that we reported on last month are wrapping up. They finished the roof of the professional building. They got the transfer station online on Skyline. Or not transfer station, the lift station online on Skyline. And their big project working on right now is the intersection of Mino and Flynn, or near Mino and Flynn, where the culvert goes underneath the Flynn Street. And it's a joint effort between Woods County and the city of Alva. So that's going on. I'm sure you guys probably saw that after 30 some odd years of service to the city of Alva, Benny Perks has retired, and so we are right now in the search for manager to take his spot. So I'm happy to try to answer any questions that you guys have. I'll point out that I'm not certain, Angelica, I don't know if you know, the financials didn't get included in the packet this time.
Oh, they did not? Were they in your?
We got, no,
No.
they weren't online and they weren't in here. We
I'm
got the
sorry.
aging report, but we didn't get anything yet.
I can go on and print them after the meeting and give them to you. I apologize.
That's all right.
I did not mean to not include them, and
I
they're
just
done.
left and asked questions last time, just so I didn't go through
Well, no, they're done, and I'll go print them for you if you guys would like to wait after the meeting. Not a problem. I'm sorry about that.
them. Is it your intention to replace Benny with one person, or one person for each department?
It's depends on what kind of applicants we get. Ideally, we're looking for a public works supervisor to take that over, and we'll see what we get, for applicants. And somebody well-rounded that would be a good project manager and be able to direct all of the different departments there with public works would be ideal. So we'll see what we get.
Okay.
Anything else? Any questions of the mayor? No? We'll go on to the next item, manager's report.
Okay, had a pretty good month on the avgas sales. We moved 17.2 gallons, had 275. That was a truck transfer, so we had a total sold at the pump 2,442.2 gallons for $10,013.02 off the 100 lead truck. We sold 496.9 gallons for $2,136.67. So the total gallons sold, 100 load lead last month, 2,939 gallons and 1/10 for total 12,149.69 on sales. Total had one transfer, moved 1,834.2 gallons out of the tank, put it into the Jet A truck. We sold 1,025 gallons at $3,485. Total fuel sales last month, 15,634.69. We had total oil sales 4,264. The tax on that oil was $394. Didn't have any overnight hangers last month, so our total sales last month were 15,681.27. Any questions on the fuel report? Okay, in the packets I had Angelica send out, we had an email from Toby, they got the diagram for the turf runway. There wasn't any air spacing done, during the construction or before the construction. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but at the east end, that first cone, it's gonna have to be 290 foot out away from 1836. The last cone's gonna have to be 240 foot from the work ground, so that's gonna bring the total length of the runway down to about 1,360 foot. On that email, it said, you know, this is significantly less than what I believe the board thought was available. If we would like him to proceed with submitting this to the FAA for the air spacing and subsequent publishing, we can go ahead and get that done, and then we can always add on to it if we want to. So all I gotta do is get a hold of Toby and tell him yay or nay, if you guys feel okay with that.
I would think we should go ahead and get it
Oh,
published.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
and it is gonna be 927 instead of 826, but we can get all this in the process. And so all I gotta do is get a hold of Toby and we'll go from there, so. Got plenty of ground there if we ever wanna build on to it, so. But,
And the times that you will need it, you won't need more than 1,300 feet anyway, as a landowner.
you can always use that, that's just the way it's
Yeah,
gotta
as
be
long as we don't
published.
write up those ends, I mean,
You know.
they can.
It's just, it's the runway safety zone and the runway safety area on the west end is what it's called, and on the east end is called the runway protection zone. So, I did also call, just FYI, I went ahead and called, Dick Carruthers. I told you that I'd called him over there at Cherokee. If we wanna look at running a packer over it, he says it runs $125 an hour. Once again, he does think it'll knock the ridges down if we wanna do that right down the center, that 170 foot by 1,900 foot. He thinks he can probably do it in a day. He's not guaranteeing this, but he thinks it will help. He's never done one, and he doesn't wanna pack it so tight that it won't be able to take water. So, that's up to us.
I think it's smooth enough the way it is. I've landed on it, and it's
I
fine.
drove down in the pickup with him, and I think it's too rough. And also,
The pickup,
Bruce Patman also said the same thing, and Bruce landed on it. He has a turf runway. I think we should do everything we can to make it as good as possible. And at $125 an hour in a day, we're talking what, $1,200 approximately. It's not like we're bankrupt. I think we ought to do everything possible to improve it. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna defer to the pilots and
I landed on it. I thought it was smooth. Yeah, I was surprised how smooth it was.
But if you wanna know, just drive down,
When
take a ride.
I found out on my runway down south at my farm that it's considerably rougher feeling in a vehicle than it is in the airplane. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because the vehicle has shock absorbers that transfers that and doesn't let the wheels take up and absorb the imperfections in the ground. But I was surprised how smooth it was out there.
I guess depends on your definition of roughness, but Bruce also landed on it. So we've got two different opinions from two different pilots. But in my opinion,
It's
in the vehicle, if it's rough in a vehicle, it's gonna be rough in an airplane.
it's smoother than our old grass strip was. So. Anyway.
What do you think,
That's
Paul?
not, That's not not an agenda item, so I don't know that we can,
We're not gonna vote, we can't vote on it, but I think, we can give the manager an idea of how we feel about it.
Okay, yeah, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. So if you want me to call him and have it done, I just would like a consensus from the board on it. I mean,
it does need to be mowed shorter.
procedurally, that's not an amount that the board has to approve,
right,
but it would be, if there's not consensus in the board, I would say that if there's not consensus, it's not an amount maybe we should spend.
To what?
If there's not consensus among the board, I would say it's probably not an amount we should
Stan,
spend.
I think that mower said as low as we can. Right.
But
now.
I haven't driven over on it in a while, so I can't answer to, I haven't landed on it, so I can't talk to that either.
My concern would be that it's deemed safe. And I know it's not intended to be a primary runway, so I don't know what the standards should be, but safety would be my concern.
I mean, I understand what he said about the concern of then packing it too tight to where
Right.
it wouldn't grow or whatever, like it
Right.
do water like it need to, but I can understand Terry's and Bruce's position, you know, I mean, in the scheme of things and in our budget, $1,000 isn't that big of a thing, but, the last time we had somebody go over there, we ended up with the roughness.
Yeah.
You know, and so, I don't know how big a vehicle, or, I mean, surely they would be conscientious of that if they took their vehicle in, not to make it worse at the end, like we did when we had it sprigged.
Right.
'Cause that's where we're at now, is because of
The sprig,
The
the
sprig.
furrows in
Yeah,
it.
well, when you drive a vehicle on it, it can burst too. And that's one of the problems I have with my brothers down at Mine Grass Strip, is they say it's all nice and mowed, so they like to drive out there on it. Well, they leave ruts in it every time they do. But
Carruthers done turf runways, or is he just in general?
Huh?
Has he done a turf runway before? Has Carruthers done it?
No, that's what he said, he's never run a packer on a turf runway. Because they mainly pack oil field sites down that are rock and stuff.
But I did fly in and out of Darrell Eden's strip for 2 years, and it was a grass strip with cows on it. And we did drive up and down it,
How about,
and it was a whole lot smoother than this one.
how about we get it on the next agenda, and we'll take action, and then we can quit talking about it at every meeting.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
And that may be action, it may be no action.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we're off of that topic then and on to the next one. Back when we had the board meeting in August, on August the 12th, and Dale signed the MOA from the FAA in relation to the AWAS. We were talking also at that time about security on the building. Well, Casey at that time also sent me this manual here. I ran off the first page of it. I put everything in this manual, just strictly for the AWAS. I'm finding stuff out about that. Does say on here in relation to security, we ran page 7 off, that the building should be locked up to protect the AWAS equipment. Anyway, with the way this terminal's constructed, it's not possible just to lock the office off out there with the big open area. I would like to see us, would like to make getting the glass enclosure up there on the counter a priority, so I can start locking the office up at night, and then we could go back to the key box and see if,
that's on the next agenda item,
so,
so you're kind of jumping the gun a little bit.
anyway, that's my thoughts on the security deal. I think maybe it would help, that way we could go back to having a key putting our Unicom frequency out here and seeing if it would help, so. Then on September the 18th, I'd like to give a shout out to Paul. Paul and I went out to the Kiwanis lunch and gave a little presentation about what's going on out here, all the different things that are going on. And then the last thing on my manager report is we had 34 transient aircraft assigned to yesterday last year. And that's all from our Oh, it's been averaging 20 to 35. I think the highest I've seen it since I've been here is like 38. So 34 was pretty good number. So that doesn't count on the normal people, you know, the pipeliners and everything. Sometimes you pretty count on that. Just the transient aircraft. Don't see very often. I thought that was pretty good. And that's all I have for my report.
Okay. Then we'll go on to the next item, discussion and action on bill and security. Over the past few months, security has been an issue at the airport. Airport managers have been collecting estimates from local contractors to address all these issues. This agenda item will allow the board to discuss these findings and other issues that may arouse residents since last meeting. So do we have quotes or anything?
Now, $2,400 from the guy that I would like to see. I mean, I've got him out there if you want me to actually present him.
That would be great.
I'm sorry, I just spaced that off. But that would do along the counter, a solid glass enclosure, with 5 inches on each side. This is his estimate. Like I say, that would lay, it'd be just kind of like a shower door track that goes along the inside edge of the counter. Wouldn't have any sliding doors or anything in it. I don't think it needs that. It'd be about a foot above the top to allow for air circulation. He does really good work with stuff that comes from a place that does a lot of custom glass work. Like I said, it wouldn't be anything big and bulky. I think it would look real nice. Be some soundproofing out there. So when I have to, when I'm on the phone and stuff, I can hear people are talking to me. I think that is a way to go and be able to keep the office locked up and still allow the transient pilot to get in and out of the rest of the terminal. Because we have filing cabinets in there with people's pertinent information and a lot of things that I feel confident.
Were you able to get one estimate?
I had one other one from the guy that has worked on this door over here. He's $2,100. And I've worked with him. I think this guy would get it done quick for me.
So is that all one group that you?
That's-
This is two?
No, that's
That's all one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just all in one floor.
There's one address is Parker, Kansas, the other address is
Yeah. Each part of it, yeah.
so he's in Parker.
Right.
Who is it? Who is it?
It's,
No. Marta?
That's what, over here.
No, like I said, I feel that this, that way we could go back to the key box out here, we wouldn't have to worry about anybody being able to get in the office.
How quickly did he indicate he would be able to get to it and finish it?
He didn't actually say how long it would take to finish it, but I mean, all the measurements are up there and everything, and it sounds like it's all they've gotta do is cut the tracks and.
So, if we've got we don't have to take the lowest estimate, and this is only an estimate, so it may not be exactly this.
No higher than the dollar figure is.
But, we do need to have a reason for choosing, a higher estimate over a lower estimate. So if we approve that, if we approve this, what would you suggest the reason would be that makes this bid better, lowest best? The lowest best bid is what
Right. What you're trying for, like I said, the other one was from the door guy, it was $2,100. I just think this guy would get it done a lot quicker and it would look better. That's just my opinion. I mean, as far as getting the, like we wouldn't be dragging it out, taking 3 or 4 days to get it up. I think this guy could do it in a day or 2 days. Now, I did not ask him that, but I can ask him that.
Who's the door guy?
His name is Earl Harvey. He does some work for the city. He's the only other one that.
I'm familiar with Mark's work. Mark does good work. And he's, he'll be thorough and he'll finish it up and it'll look good. I'd have,
There's nothing in writing that says
Right.
what he said.
right.
Yeah. So how do we know that this is necessarily best?
From the time he starts, will be completed within 7 days, or like you said, there's no time estimate on it.
We really have to take bids on that one.
We don't have to take bids on this and that.
We still need to show reason that we feel this is better than the other.
Yeah.
That we're being a good steward of the public money.
Probably, that he can do it.
Okay,
Like
here
this.
was. Sorry about that. This was the one from Earl. And it's using a real wide track.
See,
And this is on the doors, it's just the bottom part here, so.
I can see a commercial business that would have insurance and things like that, or is he just an individual working?
I'm not familiar with Earl.
I've heard, I don't know for a fact, that he did some work over at the ARC. But I don't know that. That's what I've heard.
So he's, okay.
I think, I'm sorry, I think these are 2 different bids. This
Oh,
is the one I was
The
talking
last item on this one is
So what's that one?
That is a totally different guy. That was the guy I was talking about, was on the first one, that was too. I don't know how they got paper clipped together.
oh, well, I wasn't paying enough attention then.
So
This is,
So Ford has,
this was the door and
Construction.
everything.
are we consistent? We've got,
I was wondering, does the numbers work?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Right, okay, well, the thing that gets me is when doing something, see how we have here, we know what kind of wood the trim's gonna be, you see there's more detail
Detail,
on
right,
that than what's in here,
right,
and so,
right.
that-
See, and like I said, this will be just like a shower track. You'll set the glass in there.
if we have some of that detail in that, then if what you're visualizing and what he builds is the same thing, and we have something to go back to.
Right,
Does that make sense?
right.
So you hear he's changing the door.
No, this is-
Well,
we're not
this
doing
was
that.
talking, that was on the door and everything, the exterior door. So, for like if we were gonna go with take one
This
of
is
these
not-
double
yeah,
doors
this is-
out.
So this doesn't have anything to do with installing, here it says.
Well, he put it all, lumped it all into one, so, and didn't really break it down, so.
He wasn't presenting this one.
Yeah, I didn't, cause like I said, this was,
So this is $2,100 for furnish and install glass on countertop using 1 3/4 by 4.5 aluminum tube, 1/4 inch clear tempered glass. And do you know, is it gonna be I'm assuming, I mean, we can only assume, I guess, but he's got 72 wide and 48 high. Would this be for the same 72 wide and 48
right,
high?
right, cause we wanna allow some air circulation on top. Cause I think it's like 52 inches, maybe a little more from the actual top of the counter up there to the top of the beam where it's open. So, I just don't think we need to close it all. Gotta have some air circulation.
I'm not against doing it, I wanna do it, but for me, there's not enough information there to
Yeah.
make sure it's done the way
And,
that you would like to see it done. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing, there's,
you know, and Mark Reed bid
Is
it.
that, whose total? Is that
Total is Hartner,
Mitch?
that's Jeff Black.
Jeff Black? Okay, so we're not taking the door out.
The way I read
So
it,
the way
he
I'm
considerably
thinking,
cheaper.
I'm thinking Mark's gonna be less money.
Yeah,
If we take the door out.
That would be the lowest bid.
But we're making assumptions. Let's go back to, can you go back to each of them and say just the 72 by 48 glass trimmed out and cleaned up, installed? Is that what we're looking for?
Okay.
And then see if they all come back, because if he's at $25.75 for everything, minus, or, I mean, and then $800 for the glass,
so he's $800 for the glass, and we're here,
and I'm gonna assume that's just materials.
this is $950 just for the glass.
That one doesn't have it broke out.
It doesn't have it broke out, and neither does that.
Does that make sense?
Right, just wanna, broke down, trimmed out, I mean, with the same size of glass.
The only one that I'm not well, no. Mark's the only one I'm familiar with. And I don't have to be familiar with him, that's not what I'm saying, but
we just need to be able to compare apples to
Yeah.
apples. kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and we-
But like, you don't want to get a situation where something is this big, because he could come in and put it with walnut, see what I'm saying? Instead of oak or whatever matches on the term.
Right.
So you want to make sure that
Right,
whatever they're doing is staying consistent with whatever the theme is, or what we have
right,
in the building. And then at the same time, you can ask them, you know, is this a 3-day job, a 4-day job from the time you
Right.
start, and get that information in there as well, and then you would know
okay,
what's happening. That way then there's no surprises. And then, you know, are they running a 30-day backlog, a 14-day backlog, that type of a thing.
okay. Yeah, 'cause,
yeah, how quick can they start, how quick can they get it done once they start, and then
right,
materials and labor.
Is there any way to compare quality of workmanship? Which one of these guys do you think is the best? I
no,
bet
'cause I
they're
never
the
got any
experience.
of them done, I'm going by hearsay on
Okay.
But that would, if, you know, if they stated in there that some more details, you would know how good of quality it was, you know, if he just says he's gonna stain it, trim it out in oak, well,
Right,
this guy may be extruded plastic trim, and this guy may be, well, you,
right,
exactly.
I'm not gonna put any trim at all on it, cause
Yeah,
I think it
I'm
looks fine.
saying, I don't think this one and this one are gonna have any trim on it at all.
Right.
I mean, that, it's, like I said, it's basically gonna be
Just
like a shower track.
That's
look at-
fine.
Glass.
But at
And
least-
that's fine,
at least-
too.
And that's fine too, but at least it gives us the
Right.
ability to compare.
Right.
Because right now, we have your word, if he builds it and it's something different, then
Right,
it's, you
right.
say, well, that's not what I told Gray.
Right, yeah,
And we just, you know,
whereas
so
all
it-
we're seeing here is inch and
Of the
3/4 by
3%.
4.
The one with most details on one,
I
I'd
mean,
be comfortable with.
I'd be comfortable with any of the, I mean, if it was
Right.
$2,000, $2,500, I think that's not unreasonable for the project, but
Yeah.
we need to,
You know, what we're getting.
Okay, okay, I can call all
but-
three of them back.
my thing would be, being that the amount is what it is, shoot us out an email if it's possible to get it done before we meet again.
Okay. Just shoot it out, just have them detail it.
And we can let you know if we think it needs to be back on the agenda. Does that sound reasonable, guys?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Any other action on, or discussion on the building security?
Do you feel that by doing that, then we go back to the old system that we had with
Right.
the doors and stuff? Okay.
Yeah, like I said, my big thing is.
Office.
That's
the
gonna be
office.
a lot more cost effective than changing doors out and.
Right,
and even
because
that-
I thought Mitch's bid, I mean, just on the door change, you know, was,
The door alone was quite a bit.
yeah, the door
Okay.
alone, $5,365, so.
Okay. Okay. We'll table that and no action, and then we'll go on to item 6, remarks and inquiries by airport commission members.
We've had one of our part-time help has quit. Are we gonna replace the lady? Are we gonna replace? Seems to me like you're getting an awful lot of hours.
I've told Joe Don sent me an email after she quit, and Jake cut his hours way back, and said, what do I think? And I said, I think we need somebody, because over the winter, I would like to work on cleaning up the round top and going through all that old stuff, and he said that he is working on getting that posted, or going to.
I see.
I had somebody stop in today, I went ahead and told them to go down there and fill out an act.
Okay.
So, I heard, my understanding is, sometimes you get applications before jobs are even posted, so,
Okay.
so.
That's all I've got.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the ad run, the ad run.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, anything else from the board members? If not, we'll go next item, remarks and inquiries by citizens. Nothing? Okay, next item, we'll adjourn.